Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wanderers out there. I am KibbyRose, SoCal's lesbian psychic stoner. It is June 30th on Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is 102 degrees outside here in Spokane. I have been hiding away in my house because between friends who dealt with dog attacks, friends that dealt with car accidents, friends that dealt with chaotic children, friends that dealt with punctured tire, it has been a crazy day. We've had supernovas popping off on other ends of the universe. We've had earthquakes. It is a crazy time right now. But guys, the good news is it's the end of June. Things are going to start getting better. I guarantee it. So let me run the intro and let's get on with some psychic stuff, some current event pop culture rants, and I'll distract you for 2 hours from this crazy, hectic, maybe not so good, but hopefully it'll get better kind of day. Okay, so just a couple of things that I want to get out of the way before we get started. Number one, there's not going to be a stream on Wednesday. Why? Because I am taking a day off. It is gorgeous weather out here. I don't get to the pool that often. If you can't tell already, I have a little bit of a tan. Did Kibby spend 2 hours treading water yesterday in the pool and absolutely freaking love it? Yes, she did. Does she plan on doing this 3 times a week now until she can't anymore? Yes, she is. So I don't want to shift. I was thinking about shifting my streams to 11 a.m. instead of 5 p.m. But we have a couple changes coming up anyway. So I thought I would squeeze this in while I had these announcements coming up. So first things first, no stream on Wednesday. However, 4th of July, Friday, 5 o'clock, we'll be doing free messages, free readings. Free messages. I was reading Cora's message over here. Free readings, free psychic readings for anybody who's interested. I have a couple people already hitting me up. You can hit me up, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I will be sending out a little announcement on Wednesday of like, hey, free readings. If you want to sign up, let me know on all the social medias. So just know that. But for all of my regular viewers and everybody that watches, free readings coming up. Figure out how to message me on social media so I can do a reading for you, because July is going to be our last month of doing writing streams. Why? Because this is what my calendar looks like. Okay. I have so much in the background in the works in regards to the solo reacts, in regards to the Cora and Kibby reacts, to the vlog that I want to do, to the craft projects that I want to do, to the Wiccan craft spell stuff that I promised, to catching up with client work that I am backlogged on, to, there's a lot of stuff that I've been negating simply because I've been trying to keep up with modern day pop culture events so that I would have something to rant about for the live streams while doing other projects. So just so you know, starting in August, we will be only working 1 day a week, and I'll be doing live streams on working. We'll only be doing, Cora, you're distracting me. Okay, fine. I'm going to do this because you, my dear, have been in a panic all day, and I've been feeling it. And your empath abilities are literally now infiltrating my live stream. So I'm going to take care of you. Hold on. We'll be in and out. I'm ready for their bedtime. I know you are. Yes, I did. I haven't gotten a chance to look at it. I was dealing with my own issues right before I got on stream, which is why I didn't have time to deal with my mic decided to quit on me. Then my speaker just decided to start connecting to some random God knows what. I started getting country music on my speaker out of nowhere. You should have seen, literally, Murphy's Law hit 5 minutes before my stream went on, and it was like dodging bullets to just get on stream. So I understand what you mean if your internet's acting up, but I did get your message. I haven't been able to respond to it. You're fueling my panic because guys, I know it's been a horrible day. It has been a horrible day for everybody. I'm lucky enough to have literally hidden in my house and not deal with it. It's multiple things. It is the sun. What I was about to say is we've got two supernovas just popped off on other ends of the universe. We are getting bombarded with such a level of such a level of cosmic energy that probably we don't understand yet, because we probably haven't been able to study it or can't detect it or whatever other reasons. But it is literally causing plasma hurricanes or plasma tornadoes on the surface of the sun. Cora, go check out Stefan Barnes's channel. He has been, there's so many things that I've literally like just had him playing, not burned. The last one is S. Stefan Burns with an S, not a D. That was a typo. But he's got there. That's pretty much the channel that I go to when I need to figure out if it's the sun or something else. And he's actually the one that has the video of these gorgeous tornadoes that are forming because of the plasma flares on the sun and how much energy there is literally going off. So not only that, but we're in a very very powerful time right now. You're okay. It's not just it's energies today. It's a good distraction, but at the same, like, I can't ignore you, if that makes sense. Like, most people I can ignore, but yeah, I can't ignore you because I can feel you. And today's not been a good day for you. So I get it. You don't feel bad, basically. I love you, girl. Okay. You can never really distract me anyway. Well, yes, distract me, but it doesn't bother me, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, might bother anybody who's trying to watch the stream and keep along, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, we have a lot going off right now. Not only do we have, like, today, as I was telling my friend that is dealing with some very traumatic stuff right now, today is the last day of June. Okay. The angels were basically bum rushing lessons because we're at the 6-month mark. We're at the end of June. Things are shifting. Things are shifting for everybody starting in July. Retribution is going to be paid. So basically, anybody who hadn't learned their lesson yet, they had to basically throw in these lessons last minute. And they have not only the cosmic energy, but the solar energy, and Gaia is popping off as well, if you haven't noticed. Yes, some of the effects of what Gaia, Mother Nature, I should say, is popping off about does have to do with the influence from the solar or whatever else. But they're starting... The geologists even said it this morning. They're starting to think that there's other things at play other than solar energies because of the amount of earthquake. Like, things are not dying down the way they should be dying down. We've had so many volcanic eruptions, so many earthquakes, so many things go off that having the hot summer that we're having right now, having the hurricane season that's about to come, like this, everybody is a little bit on edge because they're like, okay, things should be dying down. Like, normally stuff ramps up like this and then we die down. But I've been warning everybody. It's this year is a lot of the change, a lot of the lessons that are coming through. And we still haven't had the natural disaster, the earthquake that my angels have predicted for this year. Is the Cascadia seduction zone just happened to be ramping up. And are other people predicting a huge event occurring around July 5th? Yeah. And it would make sense because, guys, I said in June that Hollywood would fall. We had the fires, then the landslides, then the I forget what we had. In June was the start of the fall of Hollywood. I said by June they would figure out that they weren't going to really be able to rebuild. They really weren't going to be able to rebuild LA. That's where we are now. And then the next prediction after that was the earthquake. And I remember not being able to be very clear on when the earthquake was going to come. However, watching Earthquake Master and watching the geologists that are now coming forward and saying, wow, you guys, like, there's a lot of movement on the Cascadia zone in fault lines that we haven't suspected or shouldn't be expecting any movement in. And it's all the way from Baja all the way up through the San Andreas Fault. And for any of us that have lived through the San Andreas Fault earthquake, we know that earthquake can end up being quite powerful. So I have a lot of questions because I wonder if we're going to have, because my angels, I keep hearing messages, you guys, and the other psychics that I keep talking to keep confirming them that they're kind of hearing the same thing, that something big is coming July 5th or around July 5th. And It's kind of funny because at the beginning of the year I saw it too, but my instinct at the beginning of the year was like, oh, 4th of July, duh. Now I'm hearing that we are on the good timeline, because in this timeline around 4th of July, we all celebrate. On the other timeline, if another president had been put into play, there would be other fireworks of the not so good kind raining down on us, and it would be a very different level of patriarchy and fighting for your country, should I say. Anyway, so we are on the best timeline that there possibly is. However, where we're going from here, I have a lot of questions, and we'll have to see what happens. On that note, 4th of July, I am doing free readings. So if you see the end of the world coming, we'll be doing free readings just in case the end of the world is coming and you need any messages. After July, we will be doing only live streams once a month starting August, which will be our psychic readings. And then after that, look for postings on our other channel, Core and Kibby. Link is down below, because that is where a blunt of my work is going to go into, because here's another reason why we have to change the schedule. I am seriously looking into, and I mean seriously looking into, like, some of these sprints. I will be doing some more research on this, going back to school to get my graphics design and marketing degree. Not maybe degree, but at least experience, at least some graphic design classes and everything else. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try to figure it out. It's not as easy as that. Hopefully it'll be a lot easier than I think it's going to be. My last attempt at this did not go so successfully. I graduated. I graduated and got my AA from San Diego State in 2001. So getting a hold of transcripts that are required nowadays, not so easy. So I'm just going from there. I decided to go into graphic design simply because I have so many friends and so many, like, literally family members. I have my cousin who owns our winery that wants to start doing commercials. I have so many friends who are authors that need book covers and website designs. I have so many, and with the new laws that are coming through with AI, I mean, Disney, a lot of the big companies are going after AI for copywriting in regards to art and everything else. So the self-learning of AI is not going to be able to copyright, like, anything you create from AI inevitably is not going to be able to be copyrighted, because you can't prove that you created it yourself. So we're still good. Like, from what I can see in the future in regards to graphic design, actually they're going to be needed. They're going to be wanted, and they're going to be needed, because they're going to start shifting AI away from the creative and more into the scientific and the helper aspect. Ultimately, from what I can see with AI, is we're going towards, like, the Star Trek computer aspect of AI, and less in the creative, simply because companies are not going to be able to make any money off of anything they can't copyright. So they're not going to use AI in creation of anything because they can't copyright it. So that's why I'm actually looking to go into graphic design, because a lot of creatives are like, you're not going to be able to use AI to be creative anymore, especially if you want to make money off of it. You're going to have a human being actually doing it. And with how many graphic designers and how many film artists actually dropped out or retired because LA crashed, I mean, I know personally at least 50 people that literally retired, that were like, that worked for Disney, that worked for Universal, that were literally like graphic designers, and they were able to retire, and when everything went down, and it was because of AI. And now there's these lawsuits going into play, and looking with my psychic down the channels, graphic design is going to be something that is needed inevitably in the future. So it's more of along the lines of using the classes to critique, or like to streamline everything that I've already learned myself, and to go from there. That's why we'll figure out. That's why it's going to be a little bit of figuring it out. Am I going for a graphic design degree? No, I'm not going to dump my money into a graphic design degree. Half of the stuff that they teach you in that school, I've already learned anyway. I just need to know how to streamline my process basically and learn all the little things that you can't necessarily learn yourself, because there's only so much you can do playing around with Final Cut Pro that you can teach yourself. Also, I would like to I need a refresher. When it came to writing music, I realized there was a lot of stuff that my mom taught me when I was younger that is, I was like, wait, what is that again? And so I having a refresher on how to use GarageBand would be nice too. So we'll see what ends up coming of it, but hopefully, basically, I'm trying to see if there's community college classes that are is there a Final Cut Pro community college class? Is there a GarageBand community college class? So, but I have been rambling for 16 minutes and we are here to get work done. So, yeah, and that's going to be ending soon, very much so, because of the lot of the laws that are coming in, because basically they're and it's going to be removed. And I saw your arguments, Javier, but here's the thing: I'm a psychic, and you're arguing based on current day facts. I'm looking 6 months down the line to 3 to 5 years down the line, and I'm telling you right now, the lawsuit's going to go through. They're not going to be able to implement AI into art anymore. It's going to fall out simply because nobody can copyright it. And if any of the big companies can't make money off of it because AI is attached to it, they're not going to use AI anymore. They're going to go back to human beings. And that's inevitably what's going to happen. We'll see in 6 months if I'm wrong. If I am, I will apologize for you. But there's such a strong initiative behind this. And honestly, there's so many creatives out there already that are throwing their fists down in regards to this, because basically, you shouldn't be able to take, for instance, Cora's 5 books, put them into an AI, have it read all of it, then create a book off of her 5 books and say, this is my book. Now I get to make money off of it because I'm going to copyright it as my book. And that is inevitably what's going to happen. Every single creative out there, when it comes to butting head, and not only that, but AI needs humans to learn off of. If all humans just decide to stop creating, which would really suck, what is AI going to learn from? And that's what they're having the problem with, is basically you cannot use AI in art anymore because the AI learned the art off of other creatives. When humans do it, especially a human can draw a Disney character, but you can always tell that there's something different about that Disney character. You can tell when somebody is like Marvin the Martian. You can always tell when somebody else has drawn Marvin the Martian, because you can be like, that's a really good Marvin the Martian. But there's always a difference in it. AI is going to have too many creatives go up against it, and there's going to be a law passed through where it says, because of copyright, if AI is involved, you can't use it because you can't prove that AI didn't learn off of somebody else. When it comes to the human mind, it's a lot different than a computer program. And that's why humans will always be needed. And not only that, but just in case if you're a YouTuber, because you might be, right now, we're all in trouble because Google is facing a lawsuit. And I think there's going to inevitably be a class action from all of us creators, because they are allowing Google's AI to learn off of all of our live streams and all of our content, and we cannot opt out. And if you didn't know about that, guys, look at the recent update that YouTube just put out. It's in the fine print. So on that note, I think there's a niche market. Design is good at the higher levels. It has become pretty depressing, and that's going to change. I really do believe that's going to change inevitably, because AI is great to help us out, but it can't take over creative. Because here's another thing: what happens when you no longer have human influence in AI? It's just going to continue learning off itself. It can't expand off of what it learned. It can only expand so far off of what it learns. It can't come up with a whole new random idea without it being implemented. That's what we need humans for. And so, yeah, in the long and short of it, I really do see AI literally turning more into the technical center, where authors go, okay, I have this part in my book where this is this astronaut wants to do this scientific thing and do this on this planet. Is that plausible? scientifically? Can it do that? And then the AI will tell you yes or no, or say, well, if it's this scenario, this would happen. If it's this scenario, this would happen. And then the human will implement into. I see it, but even at the same time, using AI like that could ultimately cause you to have to give up your copyright. It's going to be a fine. This is one of those fine situations where the law hasn't quite caught up with the technology yet. And we're now at that crossroads where literally we're butting heads. Inevitably, it's going to be figured out. But I strongly, like I keep saying it, I strongly believe that AI, if you create anything using AI, you're not going to be able to copyright it in the end. The reason why I took free college courses online, now I am more of an expert in Greek mythology and can brag about without wasting money. See, and there's only so much I could learn on like doing my own research before I'm at a crossroads where I need a little bit more professional help. I've noticed another YouTuber, Scam Baiter, also using AI for scammer in the picture. The scammer looks similar to mine. And see, this is where the profit is. Graphic design is actually applied art, but in the mainstream industry, they are really trying to push the art elements out of it. And that's not going to happen. And it's the same argument of people saying, well, inevitably, YouTube's going to be taken over by all the big YouTubers. No, it's already starting to happen where Brett Cooper is moving off to Fox News. The mainstream media is faltering so bad because YouTube has taken over that there's inevitably going to be a balance where they're like the mainstream industry is going to take more of a technical aspect where they're going to become the news and the sports and all of that. And like the creative aspects are going to go back to YouTube and movies. And it's just being restructurized where there's like Hollywood is done, but not the movie creation industry. From what I can see, the actual movie creation industry, because they're going to start spotting them all over the place, is actually going to take off. We're going to have way better movies in 5 years. Hence the reason that they're going to inevitably need graphic designers, because if this law goes through, from what I can see, you're not going to be able to have all these movies popping off and make money unless you don't have any AI attached to it, which is going to cause all these big money making movie companies to need to buy it's a figurative cycle. And here's the funny thing. My grandfather, who is 98 years old, actually brought this up to me, that he told me in my 20s, because I'm 43 for any of you who don't know, in my 20s, he told me, you might want to learn a trade, because the way things are going in 20 years, trade professions like plumbing, electrical, that kind of stuff, that's where it's going to make you money, because everybody's going to be so overwhelmed with technology that there's going to be a shortage on those jobs. Well, guess what? Grandpa said it. And now we have that shift again, where basically everybody, all the college students are going to shift towards trade jobs, where in 5-10 years, we're going to have a small market of creatives out there. And if you're able to hang on for the next 5 years as a creative and not switch into the trade industry, which a lot of us older people, like, we're not getting back on there, we're not heading back into the factories anytime soon. I don't think my back can take it, truthfully. I'll leave that to the 20-year-olds. But a lot of those are going into trade professions. So we're going to have a shortage again. And it's this figure eight that constantly happens. When the creative industry picks up, the trade industry gets a shortage. When the trade industry picks up, the creative industry gets a shortage. What my grandfather taught me basically is to watch the middle figure eight and be on the left side of the balance. So when it becomes scarce, you're available with something they need. And that's kind of why I'm saying this, is because that's what I'm seeing in the next couple of years. We've had so many graphic designers right now that, yeah, the industry is literally flooded with them. But in the next 5 or 10 years, most of those graphic designers are going to end up getting trade jobs and moving out of that sector. And you're not going to have a lot of college students coming out that are in that center, because the money's going to be in trade. So we're going to have to watch this figure eight and see what happens. But in the next couple of years, learning, those that are in graphic design might actually be better off. There are really tons of great resources online to learn graphic design. I learned much more through self-learning than in the university. I don't have the discipline That's part of my problem. I tried doing it. Guys, I'm telling you, I know myself. I am 43 years old. I have tried. I have spent the last 6 months trying to do it. How far I've come in the last 6 months is impressive, but it's not to the level that I want it to be. And I need a little bit more of a structure where I can go into a classroom and actually, because my brain works differently. So there's this point where I need to, I figured out part of my anxiety was the fact that I was going to have to deal with structure again. And it's actually in that structure that I do the learning, because I'm not structuring myself right. And I would rather have a classroom and the credits. And unfortunately, if I ever want to get a job in the future, I mean, self-learning is great. It really is. I've done a lot of self-learning, but honey, I've been applying for jobs for years. If there's one thing I know, credentials count. And having saying you're self-taught is great and all, but it doesn't look good on paper. And so you have to work with certain constraints still, though. Do you think you're good at that? You say you studied a bit in the past. Honey, I've already gone to college. Am I good at that? Honey, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, Tang Soo Do, and Judo. If I have to buckle down and actually apply myself, I will. In 2019, I was homeless. I had nothing. In 2020, I moved to Tennessee. In 2021, I moved from Tennessee to Virginia with only a suitcase and a backpack and rebuilt my life to this. You don't know me. You haven't been watching my channel enough. You haven't seen what I've been through. I actually also died in 2017 and rebuilt my life after 6 months of rehab. So if you're asking me if I can actually buckle down and do it, there's your answer on multiple levels. I'm also 6 years clean of major drugs, including methamphetamines, and I'm also a year and a half clean from smoking cigarettes. Anything else you need to know? So for you to question me if I can buckle down and take care of it, yes, I can. And I'm actually quite offended that you are questioning on that when you haven't been around for the 4 years that my channel has been live streaming and have watched me through my journey. So on that note, we are going to jump into another sprint because I have hold on one second. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint because I really do want to take this phone call. It's very important. So, and that's what we do here. And I've been talking for 28 minutes. So 20 minutes on the clock. Go ahead and put into the comments whatever you're working on, because we're here to help each other and promote each other too, not just argue. 20 minutes on the clock, and I'll see you all in 20 minutes. And in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to mute. Well, that's the end of that sprint. So much happens in 20 minutes. Oh my gosh. I was unable to get any work done. However, I was able to do a pretty much a psychic reading and a chaos prevention phone call. So super stoked on that. Went really well. How did everybody else do? Was anybody else able to get work done? Did anybody else see me pacing back and forth? Anyway, and not only that, but Cora, I finally decided to look at the message that you wrote. Other than, let me bring it up here. First sprint, yes. Writing, almost done with the video, which we'll wait until tomorrow or tonight. Oh, very nice. Well, hopefully the little ones will start calming down here. So, not really. Just kidding. Never mind. Wishful thinking, because your angels just came in with that. So never mind. We're going to ignore that because I was just about to tell a fib because, yeah, angels corrected me. Anyway, chaos continues, I guess, all day today because I just got Cora's message. And I guess one of my predictions, I'm going to have to look at this because evidently Brian Kohlberger pled guilty. I'm wondering, like, I need to go back. Like, Cora, you only provided me with the bare minimum information. Pled guilty to what charge? Because I like, was there a reduced charge? Did they change the charges? Because the last thing I saw, Kohlberger was in sidebar with Kohlberger's lawyers were in sidebar with the judge regarding possible other suspects. So I'm confused. I am very confused. That came out of left field. I'm wondering. You know what? With the way today has gone, I am not the least bit surprised that this went completely. Everything has been like skirt today. Literally, it has just been like. So I'm going to need to do research on that. But with the list of things that I have popping off right now, I'm not the least bit like I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised. I am surprised, but I shouldn't be surprised. 374 words. Nice. With all 4 interrupting. Oh, Jesus. Lord have mercy on your soul, girl. Then I didn't click because it was on a long, wait. Oh, then I didn't click it. That I didn't click because it was on a long law and crime video and you were giving live. Well, I give you permission, Cora, to go. You don't have to hang out in my live. I give you permission to go check out why the hell or we can look at it together afterwards, or you can save the video and we could react live to it because that would be a great solo react live. Anyway, or a dual react live, Kibby and Cora react live. Anyway, to add to Kohlberger evidently pleading guilty, which is an absolute shocker on my end. A couple other shocking events. Well, not all of them, but I'll refer to which ones shocked me. Anna Wintour, the lead, the editor of Vogue, the person that Devil Wears Prada, which is one of my favorite movies, literally was written after, is stepping down at the end of this year. Why do I think Victoria Beckham is going to take her position? I wouldn't be like, everything when I heard that announcement, like everything about it was like Victoria Beckham. Like I literally see Victoria Beckham literally taking over editor-in-chief of Vogue. Absolutely 100%. Pleaded guilty to all 4 counts. That was the title of the news article on MSN. MSN? You're trusting MSN? We got to have conversations, honey, especially about MSN and the lawsuits that they're under. Oh, honey, don't trust MSN. That's as bad as trusting CNN and NBC. Oh God. Anyway, and ABC is the absolute worst of fake news. you got to be like, mainstream media these days are like, I would wait until Emily D. Baker covers it, truthfully. Like, that's why I don't trust mainstream media, and that's why I follow like Emily D. Baker or Nate the lawyer. He might actually also cover it. There's one other law guy that I follow. Where are you? I forget his name. It's not Law and Crime. I do follow Law and Crime. Oh, check that out. Emily D. Baker is reporting live on it. He's taking a plea deal. So this is why I don't trust mainstream media. This is why I don't trust those tag me, trust me headlines, because no, yes, he pled guilty, but he took a plea deal. Those are two majorly different things. Majorly different things. Absolutely. This is why I hate when mainstream media reports on law stuff. They don't understand the terminology, and I freaking hate that. But anyway, he's taking a plea deal, which is absolutely different. I don't know. I don't trust them. Just read the title. She did right before you got on live. So yeah, I'm going to go back and watch Emily D. Baker's breakdown of it, because truthfully, I don't trust the mainstream when it comes to news. So just so you all know, I don't get this stuff from news, like mainstream media news sources. I get it from other people like Emily D. Baker that have actually vetted their sources and double check everything, because I hate fake news. And so just know, guys, for the most part, I will try to never report fake news to you. And if I ever do, I will damn well admit it and correct myself. If I can admit I'm wrong on my psychic readings, I can definitely admit I'm wrong when reporting some news. Hey, I just read the title. So I think that's very interesting. So I'm definitely going to be watching that, and I will have more information for you, because evidently he just took a plea deal and didn't plead guilty. And we can blame mainstream media for confusing two people because they misspoke. That's not anybody else's fault, but whose? Mainstream media's, for clickbait titles, which should be illegal. Anyway, so not only is Anna Winters stepping down, but Alberta, Canada literally has an advertisement out to its citizens to defect from Canada. Literally. Now, did they say anything about connecting with California or America in this commercial? No, they didn't. However, it's very clear that Alberta and the people of Alberta really do want to separate from Canada. And after hearing how much of Alberta's people money goes to Ottawa and to the Canadian capital, and how much is actually returned to them in services, I was like, you know what, Alberta, I stand with you. If I knew that 2% of my tax dollars are coming back to me, and I'm paying like 80% in taxes, yeah, I would have an issue with that too. I completely understand it. So my gut instinct is telling me that, yeah, 100% Alberta is away from Canada. Alberta is moving from Canada. I don't see, like, from what I'm hearing, Canada doesn't have the ability to try to salvage that relationship. Like, there's not enough cards in play for them to even try to salvage the relationship. Not only that, but Canada is really going to take a hit and a fall if Alberta does separate from them, which is going to happen. I do see it's a little hazy, but the chances of them connecting with the USA is very high. It would come down to it's almost like Albertians are watching this big, beautiful bill that's going through our Senate right now very carefully. And it's almost like the Albertians are determining whether or not they're going to join America based on this big, beautiful bill. Because they're like, if we're going to just defect from one country to attach to another country, that's inevitably going to do the same damn thing to us, but in return, take all of our natural resources, we're not doing that either. And as much as I like Trump and I appreciate what he's doing, I wouldn't put it past him to take all of Alberta's resources, like the oil and everything else that's up there. Unfortunately, he's a businessman. That's what businessmen do. But that's also why we supposed to have a balance to things, right? I've had that happen with hubby because he never gives me details. I'll read the title and be like, the wrestler is injured. And he'll ask me what happened. And I just say, I just read the title. I don't know. Okay, so this is gonna sound so bad, but to tell you the truth, it's a really good thing that it happened. When I was younger, my mom and my dad, actually, they wouldn't listen unless you had the whole story. If you came to them with the title, they would literally be like, I don't believe you. And there was enough times where they came to where I would be like, oh, did you know this happened? And they'd be like, well, where's the proof? Like, how? Where, who, what, when, where, why, and how? And I'd be like, I don't know. And they'd be like, well, I don't believe you. So I started, that's what caused me to start being like, here's the who, what, when, where, why, how. Guess this is how it happened. Like, my storytelling came a lot from that of, well, I don't believe you. It's like, okay, fine. So on the next thing, Hunter Biden is now being sued by his own lawyers, y'all. He's not being sued by the states. He's not being sued by Congress or by the Senate or by the country that he literally screwed over in the entire time that he was the son of the president. Oh no, he's getting sued by his own lawyers for not paying their bill. Guys, his dad was our president. And I should be careful with saying that because I do not have the best track record. However, my mom was a good mom. But you guys also hear me have complaints about my mom. So I guess to each their own. I should just be careful with that. Anyway, California earthquake. The tick is up in the seduction zone. I already mentioned that. My predictions about Los Angeles ending come June have come true. Oh, alligator Alcatraz. Have you all heard about this? So in Florida, Ron DeSantis decided that he was going to help out the ICE and the federal immigration by building, or not even building, just rectifying buildings on an already established airfield that wasn't in use. And they literally surrounded the entire thing with pythons and alligators. So they're like the three gentlemen that decided that they were going to escape from the New Jersey prison are being sent down to this prison. I dare them to escape this time. I really do. No offense. I mean, this sounds bad, but I really want to see somebody try to escape from that jail, just simply because I want to see somebody actually be stupid enough to try to wade across an entire lagoon full of pythons and alligators. Come on. I'm sorry for all those humane people out there, but I honestly think that some of these people would be dumb enough to do it. I really do. And you know what? I always say we should have taken the warning labels off of everything and just let nature take care of itself. But, natural selection, it can be such a good thing, y'all. This happened Saturday when they announced Ray Ripley was injured. He asked what happened. I said, I don't know. I just read the title to find out the injury was nothing. And she was on today. Oh, the injury was probably like, she tripped over she stepped on a Lego. That's what the injury was. She stepped on a damn Lego. Anyway, Kathy Griffin, somebody we haven't heard about in the news. Actually, we haven't heard about her in the news since the last Trump presidency when she decided to ruin her reputation because some things just aren't funny. Like, some things just aren't funny. I don't care how much of a comedian you're trying to be. Some things just aren't funny. She went on The View bragging about how she survived, drug addiction, alcoholism, all because of the downfall that she occurred when she decided to make a not so funny joke about Trump. So I thought that was interesting because if you ever wanted to know if you never watched The View and you never cared to watch The View, but you were honestly like, what kind of character people are these that are on The View? Well, there you go. They give sympathies to Kathy Griffin. And the last piece of information that before we jump into the next sprint that I thought would tinkle your little tiddly taste buds, Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry have actually split ways. They have broken up. Why? I guess somebody else thought her little space trip and her little concert was just as cringe worthy as the rest of us, truthfully. It sounds like from the article that they very much had already RSVP'd to Bezos' wedding over the weekend, which I'm going to keep the Bezos wedding to myself because I have family in Italy and I'm not going to go into what actual opinions they have over all of that. But I guess Italian citizens just don't matter these days, right, Bezos? As long as you can get your wedding done, right? Anyway, they had already RSVP'd to the Bezos wedding, so they showed up at the Bezos wedding. But I guess they showed up with two different parties, and I guess the paparazzi went crazy because it hadn't been released yet. And what does Orlando Bloom decide to comment to one of the people as he's walking by? Oh, you know, that Katy Perry was cringe for the last year. Like, evidently, through further investigation, I guess he had warned Katy that this whole spaceship thing and her whole tour was not a good idea. He actually, I guess, tried to suggest that she take a different route and a different idea in regards to revitalizing her career. And then on top of that, he figured out that this entire career relaunch that she was trying to do, she was literally piggybacking off of his fame, because every time she posted something about herself, she was posting a picture of him or a mention of him or an at him. And he suddenly realized, like, literally you're piggybacking off of my fame. So I thought those were just interesting topics to get your mind out of reality. For, you know, if you're deep diving in your book, I highly suggest go back to your book, because reality right now, it's the type of reality that you kind of want to deep dive into a book to avoid. So oh my God, Kathy Griffin had to play the victim card. She played it again. She absolutely played it again. And Mike, okay, and I have to be careful, because here's the thing. Attempting to commit things is, and getting through it is a big success. But for somebody who actually died and actually had to spend time in recovery, like legitimate recovery, I get really, really ticked off, really pissed off at people like Kathy Griffin, who evidently needed a counselor. Oh, she had one 5150 put on her. One. Do you know how many I've had? And you survived one? Have you actually been held on a 72-hour hold? Like, or was this just you got detained on it and they released you within 2 hours? Because the truth is, I've actually been locked up for, like, what, 3 months? That's right. Full lockdown facility, 3 months. Like, I was getting so mad. Like, literally, I looked at my phone and was like, Kathy, you haven't survived. Shut up. Because all you're doing is ticking me off. Anybody who is a true survivor, all they're going to do is get irritated and pissed at that. Because you can also tell survivors don't freaking sit there and brag. Oh my gosh, you guys, Trump was so bad to me that I ended up going down a rabbit hole of alcohol and no, you don't talk about it like that, because guess what? There's trauma involved. There's PTSD involved. You actually have physical responses that you have to keep in check. You don't act it out like you're on stage putting on a comedy show, Kathy. So anyway, I was just like, and this is going to irk a lot of people, but at the beginning of Kathy's career, I actually liked her. I loved her on Whose Line Is It Anyway? I loved some of her stand-up comedian skits in the 80s. I used to watch them as a kid. I thought they were funny. The early 2000s, something happened where she has changed. She has gone so, her pendulum swung so far to the left. And me as a lesbian can't even relate to her anymore. It's absolutely ridiculous. And now she's coming on these shows acting like she actually survived something. Honey, please. You are not the victim of your own chaos that you create. Okay? You cannot create your own situation and then play the victim. Like, I'm so sick of these people doing this. So on that note, oh, that was a happy note, wasn't it? I am sorry, you guys. You know what? No, we're not going to end there. We're going to go off onto a better note. Oh, here's a good note. That's a good one to go off of. So the big beautiful bill. I told you guys that I would continue checking in on it and get the feels for it as it continued up the chain, because at the bottom of the chain, I really did not like what I had to see. But from what I'm seeing, I was correct. It's almost like Trump threw, it's seriously like whoever created this bill threw everything, including the kitchen sink, into it, because what they wanted to do was have negotiation ability and basically have leeway and way to say, okay, well, if we let you keep that, we're going to keep this type thing. And from what I can see, it's becoming very, from what they're telling me, from what the angels in my remote viewing sees, it's balancing out, actually, very much so, that the economy is not going to take the hit that I saw it was going to take the hit. Evidently, whatever was in the bill that was going to cause the reversal of everything that Elon did has literally turned direction and has taken a 180. And it's almost like it's like the angels are telling me this is why the bill was put into place this way, was so halfway through we would have this 180, because they would have enough to work and manipulate that inevitably the right side would get their way, because the balance seems to be in favor. It's like the Sheldon theory. If whether the choices are what the child wants, if you give them enough choices to choose from and they get to make the decision, they won't throw as big of a fit, because they feel like they're in control of their own decision, even though ultimately you're the one that made the choices for the decision. And that's very much what I'm seeing is going on with the big beautiful bill and what's going on with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And that's what is getting balanced out throughout this entire thing. And so from what I can feel, you guys, the big beautiful bill is going to be the big beautiful bill, and it is going to establish not only money in our pockets but money in the economy's pockets. And guys, also, I have a feeling that there's a reason that Trump hasn't opened up and said anything about Fort Knox, because here's the truth. If Fort Knox really is not filled with gold the way we think it is or supposed to be on the world front, we're in a lot of trouble. So I think what's happening is somebody's rebuilding the reserves before he opens the doors to them. And I think that's why there's a lot of drastic measures being put in play, because he's one of the few that actually realized the whole world's economics was in more dire straits than anybody wanted to believe. And he's fixing it. And I can't believe, truthfully, this is one of those things where my psychic ability, like, I knew this was going to happen, but there's a part of me that's still even surprised that all of this happened. And it's such a short, and in 6 months. But when God wants to get things done, God gets things done. And I've always said that to people, like, if he's been lining this up for years, I swear, like, I think I've been saying it for the last 4 years. He's been lining this up for this to inevitably happen. And this is the launch, the catapult, the shift, the movement that all of us psychics were predicting. And there's something huge coming on July 5th. Am I hoping it's not the earthquake? Yeah. Is there a part of me that's really fearful that it's probably going to be the earthquake? Yeah. We'll see what happens. But anyway, we're going to jump into 20 minutes. And yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to check in with somebody and make sure they're okay. And I will see you all in 20 minutes. And in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to All right. That's the end of that sprint. So we are going to do one more, even though I've been gabbing a little bit too much today. But we are going to do one more sprint before we call it a night. Nothing like handling drama and crisis and averting drama and crisis, or helping others to avert drama and crisis during sprints, right? Nothing like that. Anyway, I was brought down a little present from my madre, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it is actually something that I saw on Roseanne Pansino's not Roseanne Pansino's. Who was it? I'll have to double check for you. But she was trying out childhood snacks. Oh gosh, it's gonna bother me. It's the girl with the pink hair. Everybody watches her. Hope Scope. Yep, there we go. Hope Scope. I was watching Hope Scope. And she was trying out all of these childhood snacks, or snacks from our childhood that we remember. And she mentioned that her favorite childhood fruit snack was Scooby Snacks. And I loved the Scooby-Doo fruit snacks as well. And evidently, she, as well as I did, loved the blue Scooby flavor. Well, in her review, she mentioned that she had found something that actually has the same flavor as that little Scooby-Doo snack. And just so happened to mention that it's at Costco. Well, I mentioned it to mi madre, and my madre brought it to me. I don't know how much they were. I'll have to double check with her. However, these are called Yogis. They're strawberry flavored. They're covered in yogurt with probiotics. I got these because A, I love fruit snacks, obviously. B, Hope Scope said they taste like the fruit snacks from our childhood. And C, was it Hope Scope? Now I'm starting to wonder. It was either Hope Scope or Roseanne Pansino. Y'all, forgive me. I watch so many YouTubes in a day. These two girls, I don't know why it's merging in my head. Could be Roseanne Pansino. I think it might have been. We'll fix this. You know why? Because I snapped a picture of it and then sent it to my mom. Did I delete it off my phone? Probably did. Because I don't want to be wrong with the information. There it is. It was Roseanne Pansino. So, no, it was Hope Scope. See, I have too many creators that I follow. So it was Hope Scope. There's her, see the picture, see the hair. So it was Hope Scope. She was the one that recommended it on her YouTube channel. Needless to say, tried them, tasted them. I am picky as hell. I am in love with them. They are, first of all, they come in cute little packets. You don't have to worry about making a mess, which is absolutely awesome. Second of all, they have the perfect little tear holes already in play, so don't have to worry about that. Third of all, most yogurt drops that I end up getting or noticing are usually like sticky or leave like sticky on your fingers. No, not at all. Literally, you can snack on them and go straight to typing and you get nothing on your keyboard. True to chew and talk, so hold on. So they are strawberry, but here's the best part. They are the kind of, they're not as chewy. They have more of like the fruit leather type thickness, I guess, or hardness, whatever. In other words, they're not the gooey kind. They actually have a little bit of oomph for them, and they're so good, you guys. They're really good. So I highly recommend them. They're called Yogis. They're really good. Cora came in here, 423 words with a few minutes of watching the toddler cuddle the husky. Aww. So cute. And I love, and huskies, they're so tolerable when it comes to kids. And then you got 100 words. You're only 100 words from 67,000 words. And you busted out that book in like 3 months. I'm telling you, you're going to have that edited and in print by the end of the year. I swear. But I did get, how many did I get? I got some work done. I got 19 items selected and named with my notes. So that is just kind of, oh, I didn't mention what I was doing. I am doing the screen grabs or the picture grabs for Dance Mom Season 2, episode 5, picture thing that I'm putting together. So that's what I'm working on in the background. On that note, now I just want to eat those. I should have done that at the end because now my mouth is watering and I just want to eat those. How good are they? I don't know. I just ate one and my mouth won't stop watering. Okay, so a couple other interesting news things that I wanted to throw into discussion to maybe have a little bit of a discussion, just real quick, because we are going to make this quick and then jump into another 20-minute sprint because I talked too long last time. My feels about the New York mayor. If you haven't noticed, New York was able to elect a new mayor. Oh, you want to talk about bad feels with a person. I got major bad feels about this person. First of all, when my angels tapped into it, the first thing I heard was he's one of the sleeper cells, which literally made my stomach turn because for any of you that have been watching my channel for a long time, you'll realize that I have, gotta go get the toddler down. I wish I could do the last sprint. You're fine, girl. Enjoy yourself. Something just came in. That woo was regarding what you're going to have to handle in order to put the toddler down. So be prepared. And literally they just came in with the Lion King, like Mufasa voice of be prepared. So, oh, geez. Anyway. Oh, that's not good. Anyway, this mayor, there's something about this mayor where is literally when I heard about the news, I was kind of like, okay, this is not going to work, first of all. And then like just bad feels bad. Like this, I can't, honestly, I was surprised that he even got elected. And then when my thought process went, well, I'm even surprised he got elected. My angels went, what if he was a sleeper cell? And I was like, that would make sense. If you were one of those people that was trying to move up and to obtain a country, especially work through the backsides of things in order to infiltrate, the first thing that you would probably try to do if your entire situation was collapsing was infiltrate one of the biggest cities and maybe try to get a hold of one of the biggest cities so you could start moving your people in, changing the politics in that city, and then ultimately getting enough people. See, the problem is they figured out our politics. They figured out how to play our game, and they know how to play our game. And they've been putting people in place for quite some time. Why do I know this? Because I spent too much time listening to these people on the street that I thought were crazy, and I enjoyed their stories. And lo and behold, after all this time, they weren't crazy. They were telling the truth just to a bunch of people that they didn't think anybody would believe. Anyway, needless to say, there's something about this New York mayor where I'm just like, we need to be careful with this. And I hope that this gets shut down before it gets any chance to take off. Because first of all, I after hearing his rhetoric and what he's trying to do for the city, I have a feeling that it's going to end up getting shut down because he's going to chase out any wealthy person that's living in New York at this moment. But if he can't, like, my gut instinct is only bad things will happen if he actually gets able to move up through the ranks of the New York political game. So for any of you that are paying attention, y'all should go listen to his rap song. Because not only do we have a president, not only have I now lived in a state that had a governor that was Arnold Schwarzenegger and live in a country that had a president who was on The Apprentice, but I now am watching a mayor get elected to one of the biggest states in our country, who used to have a rap career. What is America coming to? Anyway, it was just one of those odd moments, but on a more serious note, Arnold Schwarzenegger was an immigrant that came here the right way. Applauded him. Trump literally rebuilt his father's empire that was handed to him in a crumbling, massive state of disrepair, and rebuilt it back up to what it is now and is actually handing it to his children. This young man evidently had a rap career that fell south so bad that politics was the only real avenue that he could take afterwards. And now his entire idea of fixing New York is literally free grocery stores, free medical, rent locks, lower taxes on the non-white folk, and literally in his verbiage, placing higher taxation on the suburbs of wealthy white people. It's it it if his if his politics aren't, if what he's preaching in regards to politics doesn't announce who he's actually working for, you haven't been paying enough attention to what is actually going on in our country. Because guys, there's a reason that people in New York, in California, that are protesting are raising the Mexican flag. There's a reason they're burning their American flag. And if you're not, if you want to act like a lot of those people did, when another country got completely taken over by people that infiltrated through the ranks, you're going to allow, you evidently haven't learned from your history, because you're allowing history to repeat itself, because you're one of those, like, I don't want to put it this way, but literally, if you're denying what is going on in reality right now, you might as well just deny whatever's happened in our past history with, Germany. Because that's pretty much how naive you have to be at this point to not recognize what's going on. Anyway, and I'm glad that we have a smart president and an amazing Pam Bondi, an amazing turn. Oh my God. I know she's married with the kin, but Pam, like, the lesbian team would not mind you on our side. Just saying. I mean, Kelly Clarkson's coming over. Kelly Clarkson is just welcoming herself to our side. By the way, Kelly Clarkson, you like older ladies? Hi. We're welcoming her with open arms. We sure as heck wouldn't mind, Anyway, we're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint because I do need to get some work done here. I'm going to fix my lipstick because whatever is going on right here is driving me crazy. So, it looks like a toddler or a child got a hello, little one, whoever is watching for their mother, because I can tell right now that there is a little one on the keyboard. Hi, little one. This is Kibby, the one your mom always is talking to. But we are going to jump into another 20-minute sprint. And for anybody who's paying attention, watch the comment section. We might get some funny information over here. All right. And in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. If I can find the button. And don't forget to mute yourself. All right, everyone. That was the end of that sprint. I actually was very productive that sprint. Heck of a lot more productive than I've been the last sprints. Can I tell you how productive I was? No. Why? Because I worked until the timer went down to 0. I can tell you that I was able to screen grab 13 screenshots and get them named with. So basically what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the screenshot from the video that my cursor lands on that I think is funny or cute or nice or whatever. And then I create a thumbnail title to go over the video, and then I create a voiceover title that's for the voiceover. So there's like a 3-way process to this one thing that I'm doing. I did want to jump in and say hi to Renegade Drummer. Hello, fellow writer. I am getting ready to write myself. Very nice. We are at the end of our stream, but you are more than welcome to come back some other streams, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We are here at 5 o'clock doing live streams for 2 hours. We do 20-minute sprints, and I fill your time up with meaningless or informational rants in between. Sometimes I go off about personal stuff. Sometimes I go off about, current event stuff. Anyway, let me scoot away from the camera. Anyway, it is the end of our stream, and I am grateful for everybody that came in and said hello. What did we get done? I know that Cora was dealing with a toddler who decided to not only, one child she was trying to put to bed. The other toddler decided to get a hold of the computer while I was streaming, and that I don't mind. He enjoys the 69 evidently, and the 6s and a couple other words. And I know that he was listening because this one came in right after I said, "Hey, little one, I am Kibby, the one your mom always talks to." So he was definitely understanding what was going on. So he may have been a toddler, but he was trying to interact, which also kind of scares me for our youth. Wow. Okay. Anyway, it reminds me of the 2-year-old that ordered like $2,000 worth of toys off of Amazon because she was on her mom's phone for 10 minutes. Watch your kids with technology, folks. Yeah, it's the future, and they're just going to get smarter. Anyway, I just realized, this is on a total side note, I just realized that I'm going to have to go out and get new lipstick. Why? Because I was trying out a different lipstick earlier. That was what you guys saw. Did I buy it? No, it was a trial on that I tried from somewhere else. Or I don't have the tube. It was like one of those tester things. Anyway, I put my regular lipstick on, and I have realized that you guys may not be able to see it. I don't know. I'll have to go look back at my thumbnails, but I have tanned so much that you can't even tell that I'm wearing lipstick now, that I even put any on. Like, oh, my lips kind of disappeared when I put that on. Okay, have to go get new lipstick. So evidently, so you guys are going to see me in a whole new color, because I guess that's my winter color. And during summer when I tan, because my Italian skin, we're going to have to go with a whole different color, or I need to find my other lipstick. Anyway, on that note, one little last announcement before we go, because some of us use TikTok. Some of us do and some of us don't. Some of us can't get our phones to upload it because it crashes. Some people don't understand that you can actually watch TikTok still on your computer, but that's okay. TikTok, from what I can see, I kept giving predictions on it, and it did get extended for another 90 days. However, I heard Pam Bondi touch on it earlier this year. A news reporter asked her about it. She touched on it. Then the feels came in after she reported on it. And the feeling that I really do feel like everybody wants this purchase to go through. I really do. There's one problem. The purchase isn't going to go through with a new algorithm. And the current algorithm that's in place has a backdoor that China cannot let anybody know about. And they cannot rewrite the algorithm and take out the back door and still have the algorithm work the way the algorithm works, because it's a data tracking thing. And that's what makes the algorithm so smart. From what I'm seeing, I will honestly be shocked, absolutely shocked, if the sale of TikTok goes through. I will also be equally shocked if it gets shut down. I cannot see where this is going at this point, because literally I see it being in a standstill on both sides. And if you want me to go by how history has been showing itself for the last 6 months, I'm going to say that Trump doesn't have a problem with shutting TikTok down. He wants it to work, but he doesn't have a problem with shutting it down if it doesn't fix the issues that are currently in play, because the issues that are currently in play are fairly big security issues. And China doesn't want to give it up because, guys, they don't want to give up their back door. They not only that, but they don't want to reveal. They don't want to give the algorithm over so that somebody can deep dive into the algorithm and tear it apart and figure out the back door and discover it all. Like, they don't want either of this to happen. They also don't want to actually give up their control. I feel like they're buying time long enough to be able to get a certain amount of information that the back door has been acquiring since day one. Do I think that this compilement of information is almost finished and that's why they only needed another 90 days or asked for such instead of just saying we're going to shut it down? Yes. I feel like there's something else going on in the background big time in regards to the whole TikTok thing. And I feel like that it's so big. That's why the whole conversation about it has pretty much been shut down. I also believe that there's a lot of TikTokers out there that are just living in fantasy world where they're just like, it's not going to happen. And they just choose to not even acknowledge or give it energy, which I don't blame them. Oftentimes I do the same thing. If I don't want something to happen, the last thing I'm going to do is focus on it and give it any energy. Now, are there times that I have to focus on things and I have to give them energy simply because, God puts his strongest in play to teach lessons? Yeah. Are several of my friends finding out firsthand experience what it's like being one of God's messengers? Yeah. It's not as easy as you thought. It's not as great as y'all thought it was it? I swear I just saw my door move. This little thing, I'm probably pointing the wrong direction, but that thing, my door, yeah. I swear I just saw that move out of the corner of my eye. On that note, we're going to go ahead and end the stream, even though I just picked up my glass and already drank it. But guys, the energies are just going to be crazy for the next 2 weeks. Hopefully by the end of July, this nutso time will calm down, literally. But when I referenced that it was going to get worse before it gets better, this is the time that I meant that it was going to get worse before it gets better. From here on out, it's supposed to start getting better. So don't quote me on that. Free will, it's its own game. Okay. We all know that. And the last thing you can control is human free will. And with the supernova energy that popped off, the trend that we just experienced, the fact that Mercury goes into retrograde in 15 to 18 days, 19 days. So July 18th is when Mercury goes in retrograde. Guys, we're going to see how July goes. All right. So raise your glasses and may your angels be strong. May your energies be positive and may karma be ever in your favor. And don't forget, guys, no stream on Wednesday, free readings on Friday, and love you to the replay crew and everybody else. And thank you for coming by. Do the YouTube-y things, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.